Hello and welcome to Watch for Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. Although sometimes we just venture into Hulu because we're here today to talk about the secret lives of Mormon wives. This is episode 2. We had so much fun with episode 1 and we had such a great response from everyone. And everyone just keeps talking about the show. Everyone's obsessed. It's so good that we decided to continue on and come recap episode 2. I still have not seen beyond episode 2. I'm gonna watch some more very soon because I can't wait to see what happens with these ladies. Anyway, I didn't even introduce. I was so excited. I didn't even introduce the wonderful and charismatic Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Well, hello. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And I'm Ben Mandelker. And yes, we are recapping the show today real quickly. As long as we're in the spirit of Utah and Mormonism, Salt Lake City is coming back next week. We are recapping Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, of course, next week. And if you want to go back and listen to our recaps of seasons 1 through 4 of Salt Lake City, you can go to our website, watchforcrappens.com. We have expanded our archives as we continue to build those out. And so if you go to the back catalog section of the website, you can listen to our recaps from seasons 1 through 4 of Salt Lake City, also Vanderpump Rules, Potomac, New York. New York's coming back. We have all those back seasons of New York, New Jersey. There are about 9 different shows on there at the moment, and we will continue to build them out, and we will tell you when new ones are up there. So go check that out and have lots of fun with our back catalogs.
Yes, fun times. Okay, let's get into the secret lives of Mormon wives. So this one is episode 2. It's called The Book of Belonging, and it takes place 11 months after Taylor's arrest. Now, this is crazy to do a episode 11 months later. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I guess I saw Joe Gunn tweeting about it. We love our little Joe Gunn. He was like, that's nuts. I guess they couldn't sell the show. And someone said, no, it's because Taylor actually had a bunch of charges against her. She had like domestic abuse charges and a child abuse charge or something for almost hitting her kid with a chair or something like that. So it took a while for them to get back, but they were stuck with it. And we come back and Taylor's a different person now. She's preggo. And her personality is different. Like everything's different. A lot changed in 11 months for this chick.
Yeah, it's 11 months later. She's driving in a car and she's saying like, getting arrested was the worst night of my life. I ended up being charged with aggravated assault with 3 years probation. And it's just been a challenge going from like scandal to relationship to miscarriage to arrest to being pregnant again. And guess what? Taylor is now, last episode, she had a pregnancy scare. This episode, she is actually pregnant. Actually, no, last episode, she didn't have a pregnancy scare. Last episode, she did get pregnant. This episode, she is pregnant again.
There's a lot of pregnancy issues with they're not like, I think in my life, a lot of my friends and family are having problems with the getting pregnant. And here it's like having a problem not getting pregnant like every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? These are a lot of your things happening, young lady. That's a lot of choices, young lady. So we see that she's pregnant and they're like, let's talk about your pregnancy. Did you and Dakota make a decision? She goes, well, after I was arrested, like Dakota, like we actually like never broke up. We just like stayed in our relationship. Cause like, I think like, to be honest, like we wanted to. So that's why we did it. Like if I really had to think about a reason that I stayed with Dakota, I would say this, I wanted to. So
seemed like a real healthy relationship to stay in. You know, I love a love story that begins with you guys getting into a drunken spat where one of you gets arrested for throwing metal chairs at the other one and possibly killing a child. Like it's just
not great.
Love stories just aren't the same anymore.
Not a good one. And she's like, and it might not have been the smartest decision or situation. Like, well, I mean, it wasn't, but it is what it is. So.
Why do I feel like that's like the way she explains so many things in her life? It's like, well, it might not have been the smartest situation to paint half of my house bright red and the other half bright purple, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. And she does have a point. It is. Then we go to Whitney, Michaela, and Macy, and they're having a drink. And Whitney's like, I was so shocked when I found out Taylor was pregnant. Like, I couldn't believe it.
And Macy's like, you were shocked? And Macy's like, I wasn't, because Macy's the one from California, right?
Yeah, she's the one with the tiny little pin pupils because of her color contacts.
Yes. And Whitney's like, you weren't surprised? She's been kind of like MIA. I feel like she's like separated herself from all of us and didn't even go to Hawaii.
I mean, she's not even Mia. She's just MIA. Like, I would have totally be okay with her if she was at least Mia, you know, because like the Mamma Mia TikToks really did well. Remember when we did that number from Mamma Mia, but like I talked about how my knees really hurt and cried about it? That was like such a good TikTok. I got like so many views for that one.
So Michaela's like, I mean, I feel like I would disappear if it were me. Like, quiet, Michaela. Anyway, she had like this swinger scandal and then had an affair with her husband. And then she had her miscarriage with Dakota, continued breaking it on off with Dakota. And then she got arrested and now she's pregnant. Oh my God, guys.
Yeah, that's also why you have a season, Whitney. So maybe you should just start writing a thank you letter. Okay. And so Macy's like, yeah, it's like when they say guys like think with their dick, it's like Taylor thinks with her vagina. And like, oh my God.
That was so good. Oh my God. I don't think she thinks with anything. Shut up, Michaela. Macy already made a funny joke about it. Don't one up her.
She's like, love her, but sometimes I'm like, sweetheart, like it's not that hard.
Yeah. So then now we go. Taylor's picking up her mom, Leanne. Leanne now has new hair. Leanne has dropped her Abby Lee Miller look. So now Leanne has gone for a, oh my God, my fucking daughter look. And so they are getting into like this SUV. Did you notice I could not stop staring at the ceiling in that car? Did you see it? It was like crazy dirty. I've never seen a car ceiling so dirty. What was happening there? Did you see that?
I don't know, but I feel like it's probably a lot of spray tanner and Taylor just being like grabbing the roof. You know, people who do that, it's like expressing themselves with spray tanner everywhere, probably touching the roof a lot. I don't know, but her mom has this look on her face where she's like, oh, she's got that look like where she's just like kind of squinting her eyes and shaking her head like, oh God, you poor thing. But you're also a train wreck, but also I made you. Oh God.
Yeah.
So she's like, Mom, I want to invite all of Mom Talk to come to my baby shower. I think it'll be a fresh start. And then we cut back and all the other girls like, oh my God, did you get the baby shower invite though? Yeah. Are you going to go? Are you going to go? Are you going to go?
Are you going to go? I think I'm going to go. Are you going to bring some tea? I'm going to bring some tea. Yeah. I'm so glad we're at a tea place.
I'm going to go.
Are you going to go? We should go.
Are you
going to go? You think Demi's going to go? I think Demi's going to go.
And then we come back to the car and Taylor's like, so I had one of my last probation appointments, Mom. Like, I know, but like I totally take responsibility because like I did it. So here I am. Look at me, Taylor, in another probation pickle.
All right, honey. Well, what did they say? Did they shame me for raising a monster of a daughter? No, Mom. Okay, so this is how it works. So I went like once a month, every month, but now I changed it to every 6 months I go in. So like I don't have to go in every month, which is like a step, you know, like that's good. She's like, okay, yeah, but like we shouldn't have been there in the first place, sweetheart. I think that's what I was trying to tell you when I was shaming you in the backyard when we started this process.
Yeah, well, like after the arrest, I was under like so much stress because I was filmed leaving the jail. And then I was immediately on the internet. And it was like a blessing in disguise because it helped me like wake up. I hate being on the internet. Hold on. let me press stop so I can continue on a new one. On a new one. Okay, go. I really hate being on the internet. It hurt my feelings.
I feel
dancing. You're driving. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
I feel like being filmed at the jail really helped me heal.
She's like, yeah. So Leanne says, I'm not going to go through this again, Taylor. I can't. You've aged me like 10 years. I'm almost the age where people should start having children in every other state.
I mean, I look like 37 now, thanks to you. So, so now we go back to the tea place, and Whitney's like, you know, I have to say, everything with Taylor, it's put a very, I would say, negative image on Mom Talk. And I think that something needs to change. We need to get back to what Mom Talk was before all this happened.
Yeah. We need to get back to Mom Talk. You guys, I've been to Paradise, but has Mom Talk ever been to me? Okay, it needs to be workshopped. Seriously.
Make Mom Talk great again. So
Mom Talk Mia. Here we go again. Am I right, guys? Like, Whitney, give it up, Whitney. Okay. She's like, I just think like it's like we need to like change the culture, guys. Okay. And they're like, so wait, are you saying kick Taylor out of Mom Talk? And she's like, well, the swinger scandal. I mean, like, look, we got a lot of eyes, right? We got publicity from it. But like ever since the arrest, it's been the complete opposite. And I know for a lot of people, like brand deals have gone down because now they think they're sluts. I mean, what are we supposed to do now? Advertise for vibrators? I would never do that. I'm like on a certain moral level that I would never do that. I hate this slutty publicity.
I'm sorry, Whitney. What is a brand deal? I've never heard of that. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant
right.
Brand deal.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was watching Canadian television and the accent started slipping into my head.
Thanks. I was so confused, Whitney, and I got really scared that Mom Talk was going to go in a bad direction. Whitney's like, we need to make sure that we have a good reputation on social media because brands aren't going to want to work with us if they're thinking that we're just going to gel and throwing stools at a wall. Okay, we need to make sure that to just completely get rid of that culture because this is our livelihood. I love it's like, well, Kraft Macaroni and Cheese was going to advertise with a bunch of dancing girls, but now we think they might be throwing stools around. So
yeah, I'm sorry, but there's just not an industry featuring rubber stools. What do you want from me? So she's like, guys, right now we're holding on like a thread here, which I don't think she really knows what she's saying, but you know, I applaud the effort. And Macy's like, yeah, I feel like it's like rocky. And like, I feel like it's going to take like at least one of us to kind of step up to keep the group going. So I feel like it's almost weird today doing content without Taylor, but we need a leader. And I don't want to say who the leader should be, but I think her name rhymes with Whitney. Whitney, are you in? I love that Macy's just going to like totally pit these two against each other. Macy's here for doing this show. Macy's ready to like rumble with this reality shit.
Exactly. Also, because we find out very soon that Macy hates Dakota. So they are going through this very trying time of making content without Taylor. Do you think we can do it? Should we do a prayer? Should we do a prayer for our content without Taylor? Okay. So Taylor's like, and we go back to Taylor in her dirty roofed car. And she's like, I'm just... It's overwhelming. I feel like right now I just have like a lot on my plate. And like, you know, Dakota's talking about marriage. Mom, what are you doing? Mom, why are you banging your head against that window? Mom, why are you trying to throw yourself out of this car while it's moving? Mom, I'm trying to talk to you about this.
It's like Dakota's talking about marriage, but like I'm not like fully in, you know, I'm like 6 months pregnant. I'm just not ready to commit. You know what I mean? I'm just like so scared to get hurt, I guess. Yeah.
Which is why I decided to have a baby with this man. I'm just like, I've done everything to like push him. And I think it's more of like a test. Like, are you going to stay here with me through like thick and thin? You know, Mom's like, don't use a baby as a test. She's just like, I've messed up. I give up. I messed up in life.
So then she tells us that she's doing like 6 to 8 weeks and she doesn't know if she'll forgive herself. And then she starts crying. And this is the weirdest thing because we usually don't see this on reality TV. It takes years. And I mentioned it a little bit at the end of each recap. But the thing that really stood out to me this episode was it usually takes 5 years to see this on a show, but we're seeing it already in the second episode. You see someone like Taylor, who is just, she seems like she was 20 years younger last week. And now this week, she's actually thinking. We haven't seen her think through anything. And now she's actually like, well, I went to therapy and I learned that like, maybe I'm just terrified of being abandoned. And so I make decisions to make people abandon me to see if they're really trustworthy. I was like, well, what the fuck are you growing for? You can't just start growing. This is reality television. What are we going to end this in a week? No, rewind. Okay. You need to stay completely stupid and immature. You can't just grow up.
Leon's like, well, I don't want you to feel that way. And maybe this is something you should have thought about maybe before you got pregnant with Dakota's baby. And Taylor's like, I think that's why I had a psychotic break. It's because I don't know how to handle it and that much hurt that I had at one time. And the whole social media thing was watching and I don't know what to do. She's like, and you were also doing a lot of dancing. That really could just mess with your brain at a certain point.
You know what, honey? It's really hard. Like when you're going through all this trauma and you're having to like express it through doing like the monkey on the internet. It's not the monkey
You
mom.
know,
That's what we called it back on my day. Okay, listen, there could be like new names for things, but dance moves stay the same. Okay.
honey, you can only do the Roger Rabbit so many times before you have a psychotic break. We understand.
And so she's like, yeah, after the arrest, like I lost a lot of friends. I miss having the close friendships. So I just want to like start over, beginning with my baby shower.
Just and then she's just crying, and Leanne's just looking at her daughter and like, oh God, what fucking mess am I gonna have to clean up next? And she's like, I'm just gonna like put some lip gloss on and act like I didn't have a meltdown in the car.
It's just so hard to decide you're starting over while you're like literally carrying 30 pounds of consequences.
I mean,
Just
no, listen, let me just sip on my straw here. Let me just take a big old sip because that was true.
That's a lot. So then we go to the credits and we're at Macy's house now. And the girls are there. It's Macy, Leila, Michaela, Jen, Whitney, Demi, Sarah, Melissa, Demi, Debbie, Gemma, Ayla, Fayla, Dayla, Kayla,
Stephanie,
Prayla.
Kayla,
Prayla.
Banana.
Leila, where's your sister Prayla? She's at church. Where else would she be? God, she's like so true to her name. Fucking Prayla. I can't.
And they're making a video. Literally, the video is, let's all make a prayer that we become the biggest star in the world has ever known. So
you're literally praying to Jesus, who is the biggest star in the world, to make you the biggest star in the world. What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't do that. You're like, hey, I'd like to pray to the ghost of Pavarotti. Please make me the best opera singer in the world. He'd be like, screw you. Huh?
I am still the best. By the way, I just want to say before we go too far away from it, the opening credits, I love the opening credits on this show. And it's really continuing the great tradition of Salt Lake City opening theme songs, because I love the theme song for RHOSLC. And this one, it's just, you know, the way they just really work in that that Trixie Monocle Tabernacle Choir, Monoclackle Choir is just so great to see it and on two different shows. Wonderful. So
how does the theme for this go? You know what? I have it.
Well, it starts off with almost like a choir. I don't know if they're doing like a Mormon, like a classic Mormon prayer or hymn. And then it sort of sounds like Unholy by Sam Smith, but I don't think it is Unholy, but maybe it is.
No, 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 no. That one. No, 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 no. I think it is that, isn't it? I mean, I remember hearing that song.
Oh, I feel like it sounds a lot like it, but I'm not sure it actually is.
Okay.
Are you going to play it? I can't tell if you're about to play it or not.
Well, I'm looking for it, but I can't find it. So sorry.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
So Macy tells us, she goes, my biggest thing surviving as a working mom with young kids is self-care and hanging out with my close girlfriends. And we see them doing more TikToks. She goes, Taylor used to be the face of Mom Talk. And then when it all blew up, no one really knew what Mom Talk stood for anymore because it stood for so many things beforehand. And now what does it stand for? You know, before it stood for doing wacky dances in a 9:16 ratio. But now is it just wacky dances in a 9:16 ratio?
I mean, it's just so crazy. Like, it used to be like about white girls like dancing poorly to things. I mean, I guess we're just gonna be white girls dancing poorly to things. You know what I mean? Like, where are we, guys? I feel so lost. I'm just basically like a 5-season television show with an ending that doesn't make sense. I'm just lost, guys. Jen's like, listen, I know you want to make it. I know you don't really feel like making a TikTok, Whitney, but we've got to pay the bills. So, I mean, who else is going to pay the bills? Am I right? And Demi's like, hey, guys, let me ask you a question. Who's currently the breadwinner at home? And Macy's like, all of us.
And Whitney's like, definitely me. Hello. You don't get this dragon fruit t-shirt for nothing.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
And so they're like, oh yeah, we all are. We're the social. Look, we're bad bitches. We're badass boss bitches making the money for our mans.
So Demi's like, yeah, but like I feel like we haven't like done a brand deal in like a long time, you guys. Like, what's the deal with brand deals? Am I right? And Macy's like, I had like 0 in November and 0 in December, and then I got like 3 in January.
I wonder if holidays were just slow. So Macy says, the past year has been a little rough going for the badass boss bitches, especially on Mom Talk after Taylor's arrest, but we want to keep Mom Talk going. And I think it's up to us to keep everything flowing. I'm like, wow, will you ever keep Mom Talk going? How will you ever find the energy to all assemble in the afternoon and do a dance? I don't know.
How will you guys keep Mom Talk going? How will you guys keep Mom Talk flowing? She's like, yeah, well, I had like one brand deal going. I still don't know who these people are, so I'm just saying she. And Whitney's like, yeah, well, what's the weirdest deal you guys have gotten? And Michaela's like, yeah, me and Jen, we got one. Like, what was it? It was like a bladder thing. And Jen goes, yeah, like after giving birth, like your pelvic, it's just like so weak that you could sneeze and like pee yourself out of your pelvic.
Sure, Jen. I'm sure that's why it is. Jen's been peeing herself for like 10 years, guys. Okay, just let's give it to her. So the Macy is like, oh, was this for diapers? Yeah, it was for diapers. And then Whitney and Demi look at each other like, oh my God, they got a diaper deal.
Yeah, we just said yes. But then we're like reading the brief and we're like, oh my God, this is for diapers. Oh my God.
Jen speaking. I'm like, are you doing it? Okay. And then they look at Whitney and are like, I feel like you probably have had more though. Sorry, was I taking up your moment here? I should have realized when you said what's the weirdest brand deal that you had a weird brand deal to tell us about. Sorry.
Yeah, Macy's like, thanks for making me wait 20 minutes and 2 P's later to get my point across that I started. So anyway, guys, I generally need your opinion on something. Okay, I got this offer and like, I'm not going to lie, like the money is really, really good, guys.
Jen's like, oh my God, like how much money are we talking? Am I going to pee myself? You always pee yourself, Jen. That's why you got that stupid brand deal in the first place.
She goes, 20? Is that Macy's like, wait a minute, are you making a 20 with your fingers? And Michaela goes, $200,000?
$200 million?
18 trillion dollars. It's a 2 and a 0. 20 bazillion trillion gajillions?
20 Rolls Royces? Oh my God. Jen just beat herself.
43 puppies.
Okay, guys, hold on, everyone. I'm gonna open up. Okay, so I'm gonna open up a white box. Okay, oh my God. And Macy's like, oh my God, what is it? What is it, Whitney? Tell us everything. Oh my God, Whitney is gonna save Mom Talk with this deal.
And first of all, it was $20, which sounds not exciting at all. When she's like, it was $20,000. Everyone's like, oh, that's disappointing. I thought it was gonna be cajillion bazillion. It's 20,000. Thanks for blowing it out of proportions, you losers. So she opens this thing and she pulls out a little purple sex toy. And everyone's like, oh, what is it? What is it? What is that? Is that a carrot?
One day you're doing content without Taylor. Next day you're holding up vibrators. What is happening to Mom Talk?
So she's like, well, yeah, it's like pleasure toys for days, guys. What the fuck? And Demi's like, oh my God, from spreading the word, the good word door to door to spreading the word about vibrators. You guys got that on tape, right? Were we recording?
So Macy goes, is it like a little microphone? Are you going to sing into that? Oh my God. I can't believe she's touching the devil's toy. And Whitney's like, well, you guys want to see the vibrators? And they're like, oh my God, this one has my name on it. And they're like, oh my God, Demi, this one's for you. Jen, this one will be for you once you clean up your pee.
So Demi is the one who's like into it, and everybody else is like, oh my God, vibrators. And Michaela's like, oh my God, the Vibrator Pro, it's a finger pro. You put it on your finger. It's like your finger, but better. What? And Leila goes, guys, I need to go upstairs really quick. JK, guys.
Stop, Leila. Oh my God. Okay, so what do they have to like? What do they want you to do? Because it's like a vibrator. And Whitney goes, okay. So, okay, girls, gather around. New leader of Mom Talk talking now. Okay, so literally all I have to do is hold it, take a picture, and I just post it on my Instagram. That's it. And I have the option to wear my dragon fruit shirt during it.
And she's like, yeah, in the Mormon religion, we're like very conservative. So I'm like super worried about especially my family seeing this stuff and like being scandalized. Yeah, also because it's kind of hypocritical, no?
Well,
But okay.
so Macy's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'd do it for 20,000. Like, I think it would have to be at least $30,000 to touch that thing. And Jen's like, I know. I mean, I wouldn't do it for 20. I'd do it for 100 maybe. But maybe that's just me speaking since I'm related to a celebrity. Shut up, Jen. It's not your turn yet.
I mean, I have a question about it. Does it like control you? What do you mean? Yeah, but like if you put it inside you, you're supposed to like let it make all your decisions for you and control you. I mean, that's what we've learned in our culture. So
So Layla's like, I mean, I'd do it. I mean, honestly, I think Whitney should take the deal for the vibrator. And Demi's like, I honestly don't see anything wrong with promoting a sex toy unless Angie Harrington had anything to do with it. Suck it, bitch.
and they're like, that's not enough for me. I would never do it. And Demi's like, yeah, sex has been such a taboo topic, especially within the church for so long. I mean, it's like if we're trying to break the mold and modernize and get to a place of like normalizing things, it starts with us being normal about normalizing. Because like, if we're not normal about normalizing, then what's even normal? Am I right? Come on, girls.
How do we even fight the patriarchy if we won't touch a vibrator? So Whitney's like, more than making TikToks, I just love this group of women getting together and having these important conversations about our pelvic and vibrationer things. So I also feel like this mom talk group, especially being in Utah, is breaking a norm. We're raising a new generation. Things are changing. Dragon fruit is available in supermarkets, and I'm loving what's happening.
Things really start changing when I'm paid for it. Like, that's real change.
Thank God for Mom Talk.
I'm so grateful for morals to change once I get a decent paycheck for it. That's what it's really about, guys.
Once people are realizing that there can be vibrators on Mom Talk, as well as any other thing they might be scrolling on TikTok at the same time, we're just going to move the needle on so many things.
So Demi is like, I think a lot of women, because of like shame and like lack of knowledge, I think a lot of women don't even orgasm out of their pelvic. And Macy's like, I would die.
And then Leila's like, I've never had an orgasm. I am dead ass. Never in my life. And Demi goes, Leila.
And they're handing her the vibrator. And she goes, I'm scared of orgasms. And then we meet Leila. She's like, I'm Leila Taylor. I'm 22. I got married when I was 19. Me and my husband were married for 3 years, but then we got divorced. So, you know, I've only dated about 4 people. That's not really a lot of time to discover yourself.
And they're like, so Leila, have you tried a toy? And she's like, yeah. And anytime I get close to feeling an orgasm, I get scared. And I like, stop. So we find out Leila has an interesting story because she actually is, she's actually Black in this group of white women, and mostly white women, because I think there are some women who may be Asian, but she goes, I went to a very Mormon populated high school. So I'd be like, okay, what's the one thing that all my friends have in common? And they're all part of the church. So, you know, I got baptized on my own when I was 16, and being Black in the church, I've never really taken it personally, but you definitely do stick out like a sore thumb. And basically she converted to Mormon.
Not that I've ever really had a sore thumb because I don't really masturbate.
I got very close to having a sore thumb, and then I was like, stop it, thumb, and I almost cut it off.
My thumb almost killed me. Okay, I'm back.
I wish I could get a brand deal for my thumb.
So she's like, yeah, I just feel like I'm missing out, guys. You know, it's like, I want to have an orgasm, but I'm like, what if my pelvic explodes? And Macy's like, you'll have an orgasm. And then guess what? Once you do it one time, you're going to want to do it all the time.
I'm from California. I know these things. Like, oh my God, she is so cool. She's been out in the world. So Whitney's like, you'll be like a teenage boy, just like coming inside of dragon fruits left and right. Am I right? I'm like, oh my God, Whitney, you're totally our new leader.
How do you know that teenage boys do that? I don't know. I got into my husband's web history. What can I tell you? Layla's like, but guys, I feel like I'm finally hitting puberty. And Demi says, yeah, no, she's like going to do it. And then she's like literally going to start levitating, guys. And then we hear the church choir ha-haing and
like,
everyone's like, oh my God.
Demi, you're so funny. Michaela, you be funny now. Oh, you can't? That's too bad.
And Jen's like, you know what? You need to do it for yourself. You don't even do it for the man, because sex isn't just about the guy. It's about us pleasing the guy. You know what I mean? Like, the more you enjoy it, the more they enjoy it, which is why you should enjoy it more, because it's not about making the man want it, but he can only really want it more if you want it more. Does that make sense?
We're learning so many things from Mom Talk. We have to keep it alive.
And Whitney's like, we know who the real porn star is for their husband. And they all look at Demi. And oh no, they all look at Jen. I'm sorry. So Jen's like, who you looking at, guys? And Macy's like, we've seen those nudes. And so now we need Jen Affleck. I'm 24 years old. Zach's gonna kill me for this one, but Ben Affleck's his second cousin.
And I'm definitely the first Jen Affleck. You know, my cousin Jen, the other Jen, former cousin, they're divorced now. I'm just going to say that she's my cousin still. Anyway, I'm sure we both would pee in the same way. But I wonder if she has a diaper deal. I'm spiraling. Okay, anyway, her middle name is the same as mine, Jennifer Lynn Affleck. Oh my God, imagine if we converted J-Lo to the church. That would be like, do you think J-Lo would be part of Mom Talk? If I brought J-Lo into Mom Talk, I would rule this place.
She's like, I'm a content creator, and my goal was really just to be able to provide for my family, because I've always been super comfortable with my sexuality, which I think also has gotten me into trouble, because I'm a conservative Mormon, but I do follow all those rules. I don't know if it's like, I'm so confused by religious things when people are like, I'm so conservative. Hand me that vibrator.
Yeah, the first rule of Mormonism: dress like you're in the American Doll factory or whatever that place is called. American Doll Place. So was it called American Girl Place? But she's dressed like Jen is so funny. She's wearing these big puffy shoulders. A lot of them wear big puffy shoulders actually, but like in her interview, she really is dressed like a doll from 1962. And she's like, I'm very comfortable with my sexuality. I'm like a cutting edge new Mormon.
I'm so sexy. It's just like, if you have a sleeve kink, I'm your girl.
Yeah. So Demi's like, I'm not kidding. You've inspired me to like, open my legs for Brett, Jan. Yeah, I've never done anything like that. Like, oh my God, Demi.
And she's like, yeah, I did it. It was fun. And they're like, you like took a picture? She's, oh, I took so many sex pictures, you guys. Do you want to see one? They're like, oh my God, we want to see your sex picture. And she pulls it out. She's like in like a 5-piece sweater outfit. Like, oh my God, that is so sexy.
Oh my God, Demi.
I only wore 3 turtlenecks layered in this.
Leila's like, I need to grab that vibrator. This is turning me on. Oh my God, it's too close. I can't do it anymore. So, and then Whitney goes, here we are, a group of women in Mom Talk who can inspire other women to not be ashamed to use a sex toy. And I think it's like very empowering. I just worry that my family would be a bit shocked by me advertising something like this. So what I'm trying to say is I want to empower people, but I'm still scared to do it because of my mom.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't get points for empowerment when you're just doing it for a paycheck. You fucking phony. So then we go to Taylor's house, and Taylor's in the kitchen, and Leanne comes in with her dad, with the dad, Jeremy, Taylor's dad. And he's just like, oh, Jesus Christ. What's so important you need to talk to us about this time? You fucking pregnant again? Dad, I've been pregnant for like 8 months.
And he's wearing like a rifle shirt too. It's like guns all over his shirt. So Taylor's like, did you not tell him, Mom? She goes, well, I did tell him that Dakota was probably going to move in. And she goes, yeah, well, not probably. Like, he's moving in like right now to this house.
And the dad's like, really? When? Don't tread on me. She's like, today, Dad. He's like, now? And she goes, yeah. She's like, I'm just like so excited for this next step because like we have a child on the way, and I just feel like I really want to like move forward hill and like work on our relationship, you know? Like, I just don't want things to be stressful, which is why I totally called my dad over on camera to surprise him that my boyfriend's moving in who impregnated me. I take responsibility for it, though. My bad.
I know you guys prefer marriage before moving in, but like that's obviously not how that's gonna go, you know? And Leanne's like, I'm not supportive of this. Why do you have to rush it? And she's like, because we're having a baby. I know, but that doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is I'll raise the baby. Just please don't move in with that doofus.
Yeah. And the dad's like, yeah, I don't want a revolving door of men attached to my daughter and to my grandkids. I mean, look, she's already going to have the revolve. He's already the father of the kid. Like, what are you going to do? Not have him there? I mean, he's the father of the kid. The least he can do is take out the trash every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Leanne's basically like, she's saying like, I don't know if he's 100% sober, and like, I don't want you to be like, oh, this isn't going to work out, so I now have a baby from a second daddy. That's really what she's concerned about.
Now, listen, I don't judge. Yes, I do. I judge all the time. Never mind. I'm judgy. I'm a judgmental person. Toxic trait. But as far as sobriety goes, I mean, I usually feel like that's other people's responsibility to kind of determine that for themselves. But I do know how to read eyes, and this guy's not sober. Sorry, no, he's not. There's big old dilated pupils there, and then there's little tiny pinprick pupils there. There's a lot going on behind those eyes. Okay. So
yeah. Taylor starts telling her parents, like, you know, the goal is to get married. It's not like I'm having this kid and being like, oh, I don't want to get married ever. Like, you want to give yourself some time before you marry someone for the rest of your life again. You know, it's like my second marriage. So I'm like scared. And the dad's like, yeah, but you probably shouldn't have gotten pregnant. It's like, why are you putting more time into thinking about getting married versus bringing a life into this world? How is this in reverse?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of all over the place at this, and like making a stand at this point is a little weird for the dad, you know? And right. I think Leanne's like, listen, I'm not totally against you, but I am against babysitting less. So if this helps with that, I'm all in. Do whatever you need to do.
So we see a pickup truck arriving in the driveway, probably knocking over a trash can, and it's Dakota. Dakota arrives, and Taylor's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go say hi and help him. I'll be right back. So
and then it cuts to the mom, and she goes, what, he doesn't have anything? No couches?
Which honestly, I thought the same thing too. Like, oh, he's just fully leeching off of her. He comes with like 3 boxes. He has nothing to his name.
He's a fucking Instagram hookup. He found someone with 1 million followers and hit on them and hit the lottery. He's not coming with anything. Why would he bring his own Barca lounger? He can buy a new one at Ashley with you.
And Taylor's like full on pregnant, and she's like grabbing boxes, and he's like, oh yeah, can you take this one? I'm like, could you give your baby mama a rest? You should be bringing in all those boxes.
Well, and also the parents are like, I'm not helping with that. I'll just watch my 8-month pregnant daughter do it. So then she's like, oh, sorry, my parents are here. And I told him. He's like, what? And she's like, yeah, sorry, I take full responsibility. Yeah, but like, it's like, oh, you brought him here? That's their reaction. And then the dad's like, oh, God, no couches, dirty clothes. Oh, God.
And so Dakota's like, dude, I didn't even know your parents were even going to be here. And then the mom's watching from the inside, and she's like, do they need help? Dad's like, I don't know. Don't care.
It's like, hey, here's what I got for you to grab onto. A couple of bootstraps.
So then, and they're basically, yeah. Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say they basically are like, well, what can you do with this? Like, she's like, look at all my gray hair. Look at your gray hair. They cause you to go gray. These 2 idiots.
Yeah, and they're like, then the kids just never listen, do they? So Dakota comes in and he's like, hey guys, and the dad's like, okay, so first up, you knock up my daughter, and he goes, hey, that was an accident, guys, right?
Jeremy's like, well, you tripped and fell. Which is like, yeah, it was an accident. Yeah, there's reasonable ways to avoid that accident. So why don't you take them next time? So Dakota's like, then he goes like this. It was like a sitcom. He literally goes, so moving in.
And the dad's like, oh yeah, just found out about that. So is that how you were raised? You just move in with chicks? And he's like, no. Here's what happened. You just knock up girls. No. See, we just did everything opposite. Like, realistically, we would have liked to do it the right way, but given our situation, I want to also help Taylor. So I feel like the only way for me to really get a following on TikTok is to basically move in with her, you know?
Jeremy is just looking at this guy like this. fucking high as a kite idiot leecher knocking at my daughter. This guy's gonna be in our lives the rest of my life. What has happened? How have I failed as a parent here?
Yeah. And Dakota's like, this is honestly everything I ever wanted in my future. You know, I just didn't think it was possible for me to have it. I want a family. I want all those things. Oh, yeah. Also, I love your daughter, you know, like a lot, you know, like we align on what we want on our future together. You know, we never want to dance without we never want to dance outside of a 2-foot radius. For one.
I love your daughter like a lot.
Yeah.
So, and Taylor's like, yeah, we talked about that. Like, even just like religion, I guess, like as simple as like, you know, I just wanted someone in the church to marry again. And he wanted the same. And Leanne's like, oh, in the church. Oh, and she's like, yeah, mom. She says, since the rest of my pregnancy, I feel like I have changed spiritually. I have like really looked at like what's important in my priorities. And I thought what's most important is to get knocked up by this guy from Instagram who has crazy eyes.
I love when she goes, Mom, you know what? Like, I just want to like go to church with someone when I go to church. She's like, oh my God, that's so sweet. Yeah. I'm going to like basically marry someone so I don't have to go to church alone. Cause that sucks. Like, who do you talk to? Like, if you go to church alone and you need gum, who do you ask for gum from? It's like, we're going to get married. I'm never going to be without gum again.
And like, you know, it's like you have like usually the same morals and values, I feel like. And like, do we always follow them? Like, no, but we're like pretty aligned in that way.
Yeah. This is terrifying.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
Just like this is not gonna go well. And I like Taylor. I actually like her. And I like that she's going through that moment that you go through like the first few months of sobriety where she's like, it's just so weird. Like, I'm just so different now. Like, I'm thinking things through, you know, I'm making it through a day without falling over or throwing up. It's like, yeah, because you're sober from like the first time. For like the first, well, presumably, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt on that one. Okay, so then it's getting dark, so I'm going to move ahead. I'm making it dark. So now we got a Cactus and Tropicals. Macy's meeting with Taylor.
Oh my God, Taylor, I'm so glad we're here at Cactus and Tropicals, although I thought it'd be another tea shop. No, it's not. It's for Cactus and Tropicals. Wow, that's like so on the nose. Okay, wow, you're pregnant. Wow, this is amazing. Like, wow, I can't believe you have a baby shower coming up. Yeah, thanks, I do. I'm having my baby shower at this venue called the White Shanty, which is what you could really call so many places in Utah.
Yeah, it's basically like the town that we're going to end up living in because I'm marrying Dakota. So it's the Mormon, and they pretty much have like every Mormon event you can think of. So, you know, it's just so impressive to be in a place that really relies on sales of tuna sandwiches. It's really great. But like, I just want this baby shower to be perfect, and I just need my support system back, you know? So like, I hope all those people I fucked over on Mom Talk come support me for my 8th child.
I just hope that they get to come to my first ever event at the White Shanty. So Taylor is like, she's like, I'm just like nervous about my baby shower, you know, just to see everyone. I'm just like scared. Like, honestly, there's just like no other way of saying it. Wait, hold on. Let me try something. No, see, that's not enough. You can only say it one way. You can't say it that way.
I'm so glad you called me to be your supportive friend in this scene. Okay. I don't blame you for being scared because like when everything came out, I felt so bad for you because everyone was just shitting on you, right? And I was like, oh my God, I would hate to be Taylor right now. Like, even if I effed up like you did, I mean, you really did, right? But everyone's like, oh my God, I hate that girl. I hate her. And I would be like, oh my God, you guys, stop. I mean, it's so embarrassing. Like the way they want you dead. It's so funny. Like that girl is like so ugly on the outside now because she's so ugly on the inside. It must be hard to feel like that, right? Like when you walk into a room, everybody hates you. Because let me tell you what, they really do. They really do. You're gonna be in your own baby shower, and you're gonna feel like you need an actual shower because like literally everybody there is gonna be looking at you like you're so dirty. It's like, oh my God, you're not making me feel any better. I'm not.
I'm just like, No, I couldn't imagine where your mental health was at. If anything, it made me want to like come towards you more, like so many men in your life. So like this girl needs a friend. That's what I think. And Taylor goes,
So I'm going to be your friend. It's the only one you have. So just tell me everything. I'm not going to tell everybody anything. I mean, except
it's so funny you're having your
good.
baby shower at the White Shanty because I thought it would be at the White Shamey. So
the white
Taylor's like,
shanty, you know?
after this scandal and then obviously the arrest, the moms and mom talk all for short judged me. And like, they don't know the background of the story. So they were just like, we don't want like Taylor. And so Macy's like, you know, those who love and support you will be there at your wedding shower, your baby shower, I guess. And I can kind of give you like an idea of like that'll give you an idea of like who cares and who doesn't care. Or it'll also give you an idea of people who pretend like they care, but actually don't care at all, which is probably actually most of them if you really think about that. Like, we don't have time for fake friends, even though I think we only have fake friends. God, what a strange life we live.
Yeah. But like, I do feel like you've done a great job of taking responsibility for like, you know, things from the past and like what you've done, which is like horrible stuff. But like, I do feel like you take all the accountability and you act like it's all you. But then like Dakota looks like this angel sent from heaven. Like he's this perfect person when he's not. Like, I feel like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Okay. Mostly because sugar's illegal, but also because like, I'm really worried. Actually, it's not illegal, is it? Is that one of the things? No, I think
we actually sugarcoat this. I would love to sugarcoat this right now.
Yeah, we're allowed to have
perks that we have in life. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to have
this example I'm going to give you. We can then lick it afterwards and get.
I'm not going to caffeine code this though, but I will sugarcoat it. So basically, Dakota sucks, and I can't even believe you're with him. That guy's terrible, and she's right. This guy is terrible, and I'm glad that Taylor has somebody in her life to tell her, even though she's that girl who's going to completely ignore everything and do whatever she fucking wants to, which is why she's in the worst situations at all times. But it's nice that someone's like, no, this guy's like fucking abusive and awful and a user. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not sure I am like totally on board Taylor being my hero in this show, to be honest. So Macy tells us,
I don't know if she's my hero.
I think they're setting her up to be. They're setting her up to be like, oh no, like she's, oh no, she went through things, now she's trying to reform, and she's like, she makes fucking terrible decisions. So Macy's like, me and Michaela went to this event and Taylor showed up. And then her ex walked in, and immediately Taylor was like stressed. And then Dakota was freaking out. And he's basically saying, like, F you, you're an effing slut. And Taylor was sitting there like shaking. She may have also just had a lot of soda, but I think it was fear shaking. And she just doesn't deserve that.
And she's like, yeah, we were at the event and he was texting you. I was looking over your shoulder and I was like reading your whole conversation. And Taylor's like, oh my gosh, that is crazy that you could read it when I was just like holding it up right above my shoulder to kind of read it out of my peripheral. And she's like, yeah. So like I saw what he was saying to you and I could see that you were like shutting down. You were like so anxious. And I was like, what's going on? I mean, I just think he's not treated you the way that you should be treated.
But I also feel like things have gotten so much better with me and Dakota.
What?
I'm sorry. I feel like things have gotten so much better with me and Dakota.
Oh, like what's changed though? Like, is he being less toxic or?
Well, both of us are being less toxic because he's told me that he's only toxic because I'm so toxic. It's really my fault.
So wait, so is he like being less toxic like with addiction or just like in the relationship? I like that Macy's like, yeah. So is it his drug addiction or his terrible abusive personality? Which one is it?
So Macy's like, Taylor definitely hasn't confided in me as much since she got pregnant. And like, I don't really hear much about their relationship anymore, which I knew eventually would happen. I mean, when you're a boss bitch, you can predict these things. And that's what usually does happen in these toxic relationships. Like 2 weeks before she told me she was pregnant, she basically said like, oh, I want to get out of this relationship. I don't know how to get out. And then like basically is asking for my help. And then 2 weeks later, she's telling us she's pregnant.
Oh,
which is not great, by the way. This is not a good situation.
This is all fucking terrible. Oh my god.
And we've seen this happen a million times before on reality TV, in real life. We know which way this goes, and it's never good.
We've seen it before, but I mean, it's just different as the years go on because now I'm like older and I'm just like an auntie now. And I just feel like, get in the car. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not like, oh my God, this is like so funny. Or it's like, this girl's so dumb. I mean, now I'm like, I want to drive up to her fucking house. I want to honk the horn. I want to grab her by the arm, shove her in the car and say, you're going to fucking come to my house until you figure that we're going to figure this out. You are going to make better decisions. You are going to listen to me lecture. I mean, I guess that's kind of kidnapping. Maybe I haven't grown, but you know what?
I think I just want to put her in a room and force her to watch season 1 of The Valley over and over and over again until she comes to this guy. So, so basically, Macy's like, I always think about you so negatively, I'd like to add. And that's why I always check in so that way I can go tell all the other girls all the crazy shit you're up to. It's so hilarious. Anyway, because I want you to know you can always like talk to me. I won't listen usually, but you can talk.
So basically she's like, I hate this guy. And Taylor's like, I get it. And like, it has been a lot, but like, honestly, there's been so much progress. And she's like, yeah, she's insecure because otherwise she wouldn't even act like that. So they shouldn't be together, period. So then Taylor's like, well, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Just like raise a baby on my own?
Macy's like, well, I mean, I'd rather you be happy without this person than miserable with him just for the baby. I don't like him. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we shop for some cacti?
Okay. What do you want me to do? Just raise this baby alone when I've got a perfectly good, possibly abusive, possibly still drug addicted user from Instagram? I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like, yes. You're not raising it alone. You're raising it with the same fucking mother/nanny who's raised all your other kids. Get the hell out of there. What are you talking about? Not making these decisions and then acting like you're such a victim of your own decisions. Get the fuck out of there. You're just compounding this. It's hard enough raising your kids with someone like this. It's going to be really hard divorcing somebody like this. Trust me, especially since you're the one making the money. Get the fuck out of there. Don't make me drive over there.
So now we go to Whitney's mom's house, and Whitney is there. Whitney is there, and her sister, her little sister Lexi, and the mom. They're all in the kitchen. They're all hanging out. And Whitney is talking again about how her family is really conservative, and she's obviously about to broach this topic about the vibrator. So they're just talking, and Whitney's asking Lexi how her boyfriend is, and Whitney's like, "Mom, how do you feel that Lexi's boyfriend is not Mormon?" And the mom is like, He's a great kid. He's a great kid. I'm just going to wash these spoons very aggressively now because I love that he's not Mormon. I'm very open. I'm on television. Yes, America, I'm a very open mother.
He's a wonderful kid here on Earth, and it's a shame he won't be spending eternity with the rest of us. So, you know what? Let's just enjoy his company while we've got it. Am I right?
Wow, the sun is really going down early these days. It's like a lot of darkness out there. It seems like a lot of outer darkness that is out there. Okay, what were you saying?
She's like, Mom, why do I feel like if I were to date a non-Mormon in high school that you would not have been so cool with it? And she's like, I would have been fine with it. And you know it. Mom, why are you pounding the chicken like that?
And now I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared. See, Mom, you're just beating the cutting board now. So Whitney's like, of course it's going to weigh into my decision whether or not I'm going to promote a vibrator. And I'm just like trying to figure out this like a gray area, or is this like an absolute like do not promote this?
So guys, I need your point of view. I got a really juicy brand deal, no pun intended, for a vibrator. Just to promote it on my social though. And just to promote just my social, that's your entire identity. I know. Talking about. So the mom's like, why would you do that, Mom? You're pounding your own hands now. It's gonna be piccata. It's gonna be piccata. Mom piccata coming right.
There are no more cutlets left, Mom. There's nothing left to pound. So Mom's just like, well, number one, the money is really good, and number two, I feel like I can go about it where it's like empowering. Mom's like, what about the money from the dragon fruit deal? What about that money? What about that money?
What are you going to do without the dragon fruit deal? You think dragon fruit people want you jerking off with a little fucking vibrator? And she's like, Mom, don't you think it's empowering? And she's like, no. And she goes, why isn't it empowering? And then Lexi, the sister, goes, do you feel like it like matches your platform though? Because like you're all like, oh my God, kids, homemaking, vibrator.
When he's like, I mean, yeah, like, let's empower each other. Mom, why are you trying to pound the frit? Mom, are you sticking your head in the oven right now?
And the mom's like, I just think like a lot of that is private and it's personal. Okay. But also like, I need to save women. But you know what? Like, I don't want to be shunned, but like, if you need this tool to enjoy intimacy with your partner more, like there shouldn't be shame around it. Do you feel like there is with the church, like with sex toys? Do you think the church likes sex toys? Yes.
Oh, well,
you know the Mormon religion. You know the liberal, chill Mormon religion. They love dildos. Hey guys, after temple today, be sure to stop at the gift shop and grab yourself a friggin' stick. Okay.
Mom, why are you unfolding and refolding all the kitchen towels right now? No, I'm fine. I thought you were coming over to talk about having another child, not a vibrator. I think we don't have to talk about sex in the church. It's good. You know, I think it's a personal thing between you and your partner. Where is the air fryer? I need to stick my hand in the air fryer.
Well, it's also a masturbation tool, so it's not really any of your partners. But I mean, not to get too technical, you know what I mean? But also it's purple, you know, and you don't want your father to have to I wouldn't want your father to have to compete with a purple thing. I mean, when his turns purple, it's actually time for him to up the blood pressure medication. You know what I mean? This is just bringing up a lot of feelings for me, honey. I can see Mom, drop the cat. Drop the cat.
Honey, it's just, I think that when you're seeking pleasure, it can just get out of hand. Oh my God, that was a pun. I didn't even need to do that. Oh my God. But you know, one moment you're masturbating, next thing you're on OnlyFans, next thing your husband's dialing in and trying to subscribe, and you catch him and they're looking in the credit card bills, and you have stern talks late at night when the daughters are in bed, and you hope nothing's going to go to shit, but it does go to shit, and you just try to keep it together, and you think, okay, just when you got past that rough patch, here comes your daughter with the camera crew into your kitchen. Oh my God, am I saying too much out loud?
And Whitney's like, there's a verse I remember in the Book of Mormon where it talks about how sex was comparable to murder. And so that's what's going in my mind as a young woman. That's why I'm standing up and I am saving women everywhere for $20,000. It's going to be great. She's like, I didn't even want to talk about sex before I got married because Mom, you never even taught me about sex before I got married. I had to figure it out on my own. She's like, Whitney, do not discuss this. She goes, yeah, my wedding night.
Macy, how was your heretic boyfriend? Can we talk about him a little bit?
She's like, my wedding night should have come from a horror movie. Well, that was nice. Okay, a comedy. Okay, because we just never had the conversation, and this happened in my family. You know, my mom and dad never told us anything about sex. I learned it from HBO because or it's like Cinemax or whatever, because my friend used to show me dirty videos on there. There's like a huge mosquito the size of a helicopter in here. My sister, one day, I heard screaming and sobbing from the bathroom, and I was like, Mom, you have to go to the bathroom. It turns out my sister was having her period, and no one ever told her what that was. She literally thought she was dying in the bathroom. She was like, dying.
You just have to ask more questions, Ronnie, because when I was a kid, I remember seeing a commercial for OB, and they would have these commercials like women sort of prancing around like OB, and I was like, what's that? So I said to my dad, I was like, Dad, what is OB? And my dad goes, well, Ben, once a month, women bleed out of their vaginas. I was like, oh. And then I went and I was hanging out with my friend, Ed Kazadi, who is from a Catholic family. And I was in the back seat of the car while his grandfather was driving us home from school. And I said, hey, by the way, I found out what the OB commercials are all about. Turns out women bleed from their vaginas once a month. And his grandfather was like, all right, let's change the subject. I have to ask some questions. What's that commercial?
Oh yeah, it's my fault. It's totally our faults. You know? So then anyway, back to this. The mom's just like, honey, why are we talking about this? And now look, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually kind of grateful because I can't imagine having these conversations with my mother. I mean, my mother is like a specific type of person. And I imagine if I was like, hey mom, what is sex? She would have been like, it's disgusting. You need to do it occasionally once in a while just to shut him the fuck up. But I wouldn't suggest it. So what's better? I mean, like, what's better? Maybe ignorance was bliss.
So Whitney's like, I don't know if it was like a Utah thing or not, but like when I would watch these movies and it'd be like, hold the banana and put like a condom on the bananas, I was like, never at my school. So Stephanie, the mom, is like, well, I remember at your shower that your friends threw for you. She's like, Mom, it was a bachelorette party. Yeah, it was hedonism and it was sin is what it was. And like you guys had penis cookies. So I was like, what's going on? You knew about sex. You had it in cookie form. Look, I just had a baby. I just had Lexi. She's a toddler. Cut me some slack. Your sexual dysfunction is your sister's fault. Okay, Lexi, you take this on.
After that day, when you came home and you told me you were pregnant, and I just remember thinking that poor thing is literally going to give birth to gluten. Maybe I should have had the talk with her. I really didn't know that you hadn't had sex with a cookie until the baby actually came out.
So Whitney's saying, I wish I'd had conversations with my mom about topics such as this. And it's hard because, my mom was raised in the church and her mom didn't talk about it. And her mom would just take out a rolling pin and beat a dough on the kitchen counter. Oh, I guess that explains a lot of what my mom's doing right now with this.
So then we see these cookies with little Hershey's Kisses on top. And they're talking about like, okay, Mom, we never talked about it. And all I know is that it's shameful and horrible and don't ever do this. And you're a horrible person. And she's like, okay, well, if I could go back in time, I would check that off the parenting list to make sure that I asked if there was anything that you wanted to know that you didn't know, preferably about algebra.
I'm sorry that I failed you as a mother. I'm sorry that all I tried to do was raise you in the church so that way you could go to heaven someday. But I guess if you want to go to hell, that's on you. I'm sorry I tried to save you from eternal damnation. Oh, well, my fault. My bad.
So she goes, okay, well, I do love you, Mom. And just so you know, the sex is great now, if you were wondering. And you know what made it better? Toys. I was like, oh, no.
Mom's like, the mom takes pizza dough and just smothers her face with it. Please suffocate me. Take me out of this kitchen. So Whitney's like, I wish my mom had talked to me about it, but I'm so happy that she's listening now because sex can be viewed in religion as like disgusting, like the way Taylor does it. But times are changing. Like this is a new generation coming in with Mom Talk. We're here. We're embracing our sexuality. It's empowering and it's exciting and it's fun. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to promote the vibrator. It's like, oh, where's the Chariots of Fire music playing during this?
Seriously. Where's that lady with a bandana on her ponytail, like flexing her muscle, like from the 50s?
Oh my goodness. I just got a notification. They've already announced it in September. Time Woman of the Year, Whitney.
I'm promoting vibrators until I am paid to promote abstinence again. So then
the cycle ends here. She goes, the cycle ends here. I'm going to have this conversation because it needs to be had. Mom Talk is going to break the cycle through a dance to Christina Aguilera song.
So then we go to a restaurant with Dakota and Taylor. And so he's like, so who's going to the baby shower? She's like, well, I invited your family, my family. I think all of my close friends, my Mom Talk friends. I mean, everyone's going to be there. And he's like, all the Mom Talk girls? She goes, yeah. He's like, what about Macy? Didn't you go to a flower shop with Macy? Tell me about the flower shop.
That's so accusatory. Why didn't you tell me about the flower shop? Did you get a cactus or a tropical? Because that's what they sell there. And she's like, it was good. We just like kind of caught up. She asked how we were doing. Oh yeah. She's still talking shit like always. She goes, yeah, no, she wasn't. Because that's all she does. She doesn't like me, which is, by the way, this is all classic. We saw it with Jax. We see it with all these guys. They're like, they don't get us. They don't see us. We have to push the haters out. They just want to destroy us.
They don't really like you. You can only trust me. I'm the only trustworthy one you should ever have in your life. Here we go. Same old script, different fucking man.
And then Taylor does the whole thing of like, oh no, it's not that she doesn't like you. It's just that she's the one friend I've opened up to. So of course she defends me because I've only told her bad things about you. So really it's my fault.
But I kind of like that Taylor's so honest about everything. She's like, of course she hates your guts. I talk to her about you all the time. What do you think I talk to her about? I tell her you're a fucking asshole. Like what do you think she thinks? So he's like, no, she's petty. And I'm sorry. Like, there's a difference because I open up to my friends and it's not like, I mean, they're like that with you. And I mean, Taylor, she doesn't like any picture you post of us. Like, she's so petty, she won't even like the picture. Who does that? I'm sorry, but what husband sits around and counts the likes on his pictures? You fucking psycho.
He probably looks at who liked his stories. So she goes, because I confide in her. And he's like, oh, so she's the only person you confide in? No, I don't. No, I don't confide in a lot of people, but I haven't tried, and usually when I try to confide, it's usually in the form of like a dance to Selena Gomez. So like people don't always pick up on all the nuances, but I'm like scared of friendships right now. Like, just kind of like I'm scared of marriage and everything. Just like I'm scared to try a California roll for the first time. Everything's going on. I'm just like scared. I'm scared of close friends. And it's scary.
Do I really want to eat such a liberal state?
That actually makes me really crave. I would love a California roll right now. I'm not going to lie. Oh, I'm not going to lie. Oh, you look great, by the way, California roll.
So she's like, yeah, it's really hard for me to confide on people when they're not like a phone with the TikTok app open. You know what I mean? It's just like, I like to confide to 50 or 60,000 people on at a time. And my streaming numbers just aren't the same ever since all this went down. It's really hard.
So, she's like, I don't want there to be drama. So I'm hoping that Mom Talk, they'll give me another shot and we can have a fresh start again for the 5th time.
Yeah. So now he's like, fuck her, fuck all your friends. This guy's terrible. So now we go to a store called Purify, which, I mean, it's like the whole town is built around this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Except for why do I feel like so much of the food these girls make is lacking in the thing that this place specializes in, salt. So I don't know. I'm gonna diss their food in my mind. So it's one of these salt spas where they just go.
I'll tell you what these girls like: bland food.
So it's Whitney and Leila. They're walking with their kids. It's one of these places where they sit in like a Costco folding chair in
the salt cave. Yes. And we actually saw this on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Whoever is hooked up with this place is really hooked up because they're getting all over TV.
Yeah, and they also went here on Potomac. Well, in the Potomac version of it, it's like a very like suburban. I guess it's like suburban.
They did it on Salt Lake City too, right?
I think they did. I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it, but I seem to remember them.
I feel like it was like Lisa and Whitney would do, right? No, wasn't this?
Lisa and Whitney did. They did go to a thing. They went to like
they did.
Yeah, and then they like went swimming. There was like an underground pool that they went to.
Yeah,
like they were in like a Phantom of the Opera, like underground river.
Okay, so they go and it's Leila.
The kids are pressing every single button. These kids, they just let the kids go roaming all over the salt spa, pressing every button, changing the thermostat or the everything. I was getting anxious watching this scene.
Yeah, because it's where you're supposed to go get good vibes and people take their snotty children to wipe their snot all over the salt, and it's gross. So Layla's like, hey, what are you wearing to Taylor's baby shower? And Whitney's like, I don't know if I'm going to go to that. I just don't like have that kind of relationship because we've cultivated an online relationship, but it's not like real life. You know what I mean?
Even though the last episode had a scene where Whitney said, guys, from here on out, let's pledge to have our backs forever, have each other's backs forever. And now she's like, yeah, I don't know her. So meanwhile, the kids are throwing around salt all over. So she goes, the whole time I've known her, it's always been like give, give, give. And it's like never been reciprocated. And it's just kind of like, well, then why am I still giving? Why am I supporting? Why am I still entertaining this relationship where there's not even anything there?
And then Leila is kind of paying attention to the kids, but she's not at all. And they're just like pressing buttons. We just hear like a it's like a warning. Evacuate. Evacuate. Yeah, and it's like, I'm sure it's going to be fun, but like, I don't need fun anymore. Like, I want to lead Mom Talk. I'm going to take Mom Talk back in the direction that it was originally founded on by our forefathers in wagons. And I'm not supporting this fake friendship that we don't have anymore.
I'm like, have you seen Mom Talk? I think that's all fake friendships there. She goes, I just feel like I have to walk around on eggshells like every time I'm around her because of this audience that she has on social media. It's like I'm so intimidated by it. I'm like, oh my God, like, look what she did to her best friends. Look how she fucked them over. She didn't even get a vibrator deal out of it.
And then the Mom Talk swinger stuff happened and it was immediate crash. Like we were all in this massive group chat and then people were just fighting and friendships were torn apart because of what Taylor was saying. It sucks that she even allowed something like that to happen. Girl, where do you think your dildo thing came from. It's certainly not from your like comma eyebrow entertainment. You know what I mean? No one is there like, you know what? I need to go see what that girl with comma eyebrows is up to. No, that drama is helping you. Thank her for your dildo deal. Send her a thank you card.
She was thankful she was thankful initially, but she's basically like, okay, you outed us as swingers. It's been a pain in the ass to deal with. It's exposed a lot of issues in my relationship. And then you threw a chair at your fucking like dysfunctional boyfriend and cost us money. So no, I'm not going to go buy you something off of Bed Bath and Beyond and bring it to the white shanty because you fucked up my life.
Well, she's also fucked up their life in a way where her husband has, because their stuff is all over Reddit, ruining their reputation about him cheating on her and doing all that
Ronnie,
stuff. So it's not like she can come from some moral fucking high ground. I mean, she didn't do it, but her situation
Ronnie?
did.
How could you? She is pledged to be honest and move from a space of honesty moving forward because nothing can get in the way of mom talk now. Okay. She came out with it. She came out with her problems.
So she's like, online, it looks like we're the bestest of friends, but we're not. All she cares about herself, and all I feel good about, it's vibrators now. TM, use one.
So she goes, I don't trust her. I don't feel safe around her. I don't want anything to do with her. And I think that's fine. It's like, oh, it's when you are making those dances, you have to make sure that everyone it's got to be a safe space to make a prayer for being the biggest star on TikTok.
Yeah. And she's like, every time we're together, she has to create a TikTok and it has to make sure that like she's shown as the queen bee. And we're all like these girls who kiss her ass and lick her pee. And guess what? I'm not down with a pee licking facade.
And that's the other thing. Whitney is kind of like, I want to be the head of Mom Talk because this bitch, I didn't like the direction she brought it, even though we're not really sure what direction it was going in the first place or where it was going. It was just girls dancing, but sure. She wants to
Mom Talk needs a leader, and here's Whitney.
Now let's go over to the white shanty and see this baby shower. So Taylor's setting up. She's really nervous. She's playing this whole card of like, I don't know who's going to come. I'm so scared. Do people still like me? Who are my friends? I just want to be supportive. I want to start fresh.
Yeah, I think she, I don't know. I don't know why, but I feel for her more than you. I'm like, poor Taylor.
I think everyone does. And I just feel like I see bullshit. I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess I see the bullshit in there, but the whole thing with this guy is just so bad. Like, I know, like, I feel bad
that she's trapped, that she has. I feel bad that she has the insecurities or whatever psychological damage and trauma in her life that causes her to gravitate towards someone like Dakota, who's going to treat her like shit and perpetuate whatever cycle. Talk about breaking the cycle and not doing it. Whatever cycle was started probably with her parents, let's be honest, and now continues on through her.
Well, just the whole year. I mean, she did it, and a lot of it was just her shitty decisions and choices, but just the year she had, and now she's like pregnant, and so she's got that going on, and then she sees all these girls kind of doing her thing without her, right? She started Mom Talk, and these girls are still all doing this kind of thing without her, and it's like, am I washed up? Do I have anywhere to go? What's going to happen to Mom Talk? Do I have any place in Mom Talk anymore? And I'm like, oh my God, Taylor, I get it. Like, where's my place in Mom Talk? Where is it?
So pretty much everyone shows up except Whitney, and they're all arriving. And, Macy's like, despite my issues with Dakota, I know it's important to be there to show up for Taylor for her boss bitch baby shower. She has gone through so much the last year. I just want to make sure she feels loved and supported and slightly judged.
And all the girls are like, yeah, I'm just like here to support her journey and Mom Talk. And Demi's like, yeah, even if she's taken a step back lately, which I totally get. I mean, how are you going to TikTok while you're preg talk? You know what I mean? But like, I support her through all her ups and downs, through all of her ticks and all of her talks. And this is no different. And everyone's like, yeah, we just want to dance again, guys.
Also, I never want to be the one who doesn't go to the party at the White Shanty because I don't want to miss out.
So then Dakota comes and someone's like, yeah, Dakota's going to be such a sweet dad, guys. Look at him. And Macy goes, what did I make a look? Yeah, he'll be a great dad. I mean, the baby daddy part is where I think I worry a bit because like, I just like his past still bugs me. Like, and when we were at that event and he was saying like, fuck you. Like, I think he said you're an effing whore or something like that to her, you guys. He called her an effing whore.
So then Dakota walks up. And she basically nearly interrupts the talking shit session. And then Jen is like, you guys, do you guys know where Whitney is? And furthermore, do you guys know where my celebrity second cousin is, Ben Affleck? I do. Because he's my celebrity second cousin. Oh, sorry. We're talking about Whitney. Where's Whitney?
So I was like, oh my God, where's Whitney?
Is Whitney not coming? What about the dragon fruit? Are we not going to have dragon fruit here?
Oh my God, what's a vibrator? And then
she's standing up for things.
Leila's like, guys, I don't want to like be the one to have to tell you, but like Whitney's not going to come. And I don't want to tell you any details, but it's because she hates Taylor. And also her child is probably dehydrated because it wouldn't stop licking the salt wall.
Oh, my God, I can't believe it. And Macy's like, I am shocked that Whitney is not coming to the baby shower. At the same time, I know she's not a big fan of Taylor right now, but she does love the white shanty, so it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't surprise me, though. Like, she should at least send her a text, send some emojis or something like that. What about, like, an @ on Instagram?
And Leanne's like, what? Whitney is not coming? Hold on a second. And she goes out and she calls Whitney. She's like, Whitney, this is Leanne, Tay's mom. How's it going? And she's like, good. What's up? What's that noise in the background? Nothing. Yes, there is. Nothing. Well, I just want to know why you're not coming to Taylor's party.
I'm a little predisposed. Okay, well, it just feels a little wrong. And when he goes, I think that's more of a conversation between me and Taylor.
And she's like, but I mean, I really thought you were going to come. I am going to come. Oh my God, tell her to be careful. Leila, you're not in this conversation. Please step away from my phone.
And that was the end of episode 2. So super funny. I love the constant, hand wringing about the future of Mom Talk. It's just such an important thing. It's so important.
It's an empire.
It stands for so much.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens. It seems like we're just barely on the roller coaster has not even fully begun. It seems like everyone is losing their mind over the next 4 episodes. Can't wait to see them. So thanks everyone for being here and listening to our recap.
Yes, everybody, really good times. And if you want this on video, Patreon. If you want our bonuses, Patreon. And we'll talk to you next time, okay?
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors.
Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Aaron McNicholas.
She don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
She's a total knockout. It's Katie Manock. Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
Let's get feely with Maggie Sheely.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Ring that bell for Rachel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.